Hey, Steve Mignani here at Burnston Auto Wrecking in Burnston, Massachusetts, doing the junkyard crawl with a hatchback. Yes, it's a hatchback. Now today, of course, hatchback vehicles combine the convenience of a station wagon and a sedan in one. Almost every vehicle made has a hatchback body style option. Well, this is a 1951 Fraser Vagabond. This and the Kaiser Traveler were America's first two mass-produced hatchbacks. Don't believe me? Check this out. Look at that. The trunk lid opens like this and the top opens like that. So again, the first hatchback on the American market ever right here. Now I got to remember that Kaiser-Fraser didn't exist before World War II. They were basically one of the independent car makers that arose after World War II to meet the demand for cars. And of course, Henry J. Kaiser, one of the guys behind the Liberty ships, Joe Fraser, a politician, they got together. So Kaiser-Fraser was in business between 1947 and 1955. But Fraser, which was sort of the up-level market of the Kaiser, only ran 1947 through 1951. And again, while the Kaiser Traveler hatchback was available from 1951 or 49 through 53, these Vagabonds were 51 only, and about 3,000 of these things were built. Now here's a Motor Trend magazine from April of 1951. I brought this, by the way. Some folks say, did you find it in a junkyard? No, I brought this. It's a prop. But with that said, we look here on the front. It's amazing here. Tomorrow's Atom car. Never happened. These and flying cars never did happen. But hatchbacks did happen. But here's the thing. The first popular hatchbacks in America were like the American Motors Hornet of 1972 and some Chevy Novas of 73, 74. So this car was really well ahead of its time. Not that popular, but nobody knew that in 1951. And here it is right here. This is Motor Trend right here, April 51. On the bottom left corner, we can see a picture there circled in red of the Kaiser Traveler with the what was brand new, the wooden stakes on the bottom, and just the beautiful look of it. And here we see the writing. It says here, Kaiser-Fraser announces two additional models, the popular Kaiser Traveler and the luxury Golden Dragon four-door. Now you got to remember that Kaiser was very innovative. They also had a four-door convertible in 1951, and the Henry J, which was a compact car taking on the Nash Rambler in 1952-3. And again, so, you know, the independents, Kaiser-Fraser, very advanced and doing brave stuff like this hatchback. So let's look inside and see how this combines utility and passenger capabilities. Now inside, these are all four doors. They're all sedans or pillar coupes, as it were. And we see inside the back seat in this one is missing, but they fold down flat clearly for a load area about 6 feet long. And something that's kind of weird. You stay right there, I'll walk around. But the left rear door, the passenger side, or sorry, driver's side rear door, doesn't open. You can see a circle right here. That's a stain left where the spare tire would have gone. And that pinhole right there, this door is not meant to open. In fact, the window does not go down. It's fixed in the up position. We'll get to that in a second. But I gotta love some of the cargo in this thing. Look at some Renews It, some old furniture polish right here from probably 1960 or something like that. Hasn't rusted through, but it's gone solid inside. But again, you know, very utilitarian. These had vinyl upholstery, no cloth, because again, these were meant to be sold to people going to the shopping mall or fishermen or sportsmen. So inside was kind of waterproof, no fabric, all about vinyl. Now under the hood on these things, one thing that kind of set Kaiser-Fraser back was the fact they didn't have their own engines. They had to hire or buy other engines from other manufacturers. And in the case of this, a 226 cubic inch Flathead 6. There it is right there. Now those were sourced from a company called Continental. Had nothing to do with Lincoln Continental. Rather, Continental was, I think, a Wisconsin-based manufacturer of industrial engines. That has 115 horsepower, 2-barrel carburetor, 7.3 to 1 compression. Not a lot, but this is basically the only engine you could get in a Fraser. Now there was later on a Kaiser Supercharged, the Dragon, I think 1954-55, the Supercharged ones with McCulloch. Too bad they weren't available here. But anyway, this also, being a Fraser, is similar to a Kaiser, but it has its own unique hood And we can see this cutout area right here, which was specific to the Fraser. Try and find another one of these hoods, or this grill underneath, also specific to the Fraser. And this one is a 51, the final year for the Fraser dynasty, which again started in 1947. So coming around to this side, let's keep looking at this Junkyard Vagabond. Literally, the Vagabond was the name for Fraser's hatchback, whereas over in Kaiserland it was called the Traveler. Now the wheels on this are 15 inches, and these have the old school hubcaps with the tangs, but notice here, bolts, not studs and nuts, which actually was very common. Chrysler products, a lot of GM products use this deal right here up until, I don't know, 1959, 1960. But again, all Frasers and Kaisers will have the bolts. And that's a 4 on 5.5 inch bolt pattern, or 5 on 4.5, excuse me, 5 on 4.5 inch bolt pattern, same as a Mopar or Ford. So these wheels are actually usable on rat rods and that kind of thing. Now take a peek here, and we can see this door says Vagabond, and the weird thing is, instead of tooling up a smooth rear quarter with no door gap, they continue to use the standard door, but it doesn't open. This handle does nothing. There's no hinge. This is fixed shut, as is the window fixed up. In fact, we can see right here, the window has a rubber gasket all the way around it. That's not meant to go up and down. So it's kind of a weird deal that Fraser and Kaiser cut corners and utilized the door. So you got to wonder how many people walked up and tried to get in on this side of the car. But again, that's because the spare tire was located right on the other side of this thing right here. Now there was a back seat, but to use it, you had to get in on the other side. In fact, here is, I think, yeah, part of that seat right here. There it is. Probably the bottom of the back seat right there. Again, vinyl, no cloth. And inside, take a peek, Shane. We'll see this one has a clutch pedal. Yep, 3-speed manual transmission. There was an automatic possible, which was made by General Motors Hydromatic Division. And if you look there at the back of the engine, the firewall is rotted away and gone, but you can see right there the clutch disc and the remains of the bell housing. That's all broken up. Who knows what happened there? Probably somebody got in there and smashed it apart to gain access to the drive shaft, or who knows. But again, we look in the back here, you'll see around this corner here, there are no door handles, just basically a central hole where the spare tire would have been secured. So kind of a weird deal, you know, a shortcut. You'd think maybe it might have cost maybe a few $100,000 to create stamping equipment for a one-piece quarter panel, something clearly that Kaiser-Fraser decided not to do. But again, you got to wonder how many people try to get in on this side of the car. It doesn't open. And the same thing on the Kaiser Traveler, that does not open. In fact, on an early episode of Roadkill's Junkyard Gold, we had a junkyard in Pennsylvania. We found a Kaiser version of this, the Traveler, with the same basically, it was a black one, but again, same deal. So here we have it, America's first mass-produced hatchback. You know, a lot of folks think it was the 1973 Hornet hatchback, the two-door, or the Gremlin, which could also be had as a hatchback, and of course subcompact Pinto and Vega hatchbacks in 1970. But for a full-size hatchback vehicle, here it is for the first time ever in 1951. One-year deal for the Fraser Company, and again 49 through 53 in the world of the Kaiser Traveler. So if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Steve Maggs YouTube channel. There's lots more Vagabond action coming up from Bernardston Auto Wrecking right here on this channel.